Hi everyone, hope you're all doing good. Okay, so here we've got the fourth round of the 34th edition of the Tapology Lucky Bastard Game. Last round we had five people left in, which is a very low number for the third round. And now here in the fourth we are down to just two people. Uh, so the wheel's been pretty brutal in eliminating people in this game. Uh, so anyway, let's just quickly remind ourselves from last week who the two survivors were. They were Cool Hand Puke and El Guapo. Uh, so they're the two we're going to be spinning the wheel for today. Obviously, there's a few little permutations now. We're really getting into the business end of this. So basically, this could very well be the last round. Obviously, we'll do it all over again and have those two fight the each other again, so to speak. If they both have winning fighters, then they'll both go through. They will just carry on into a fifth round. Obviously, if one of them has a winning fighter, the other has a losing fighter, then then obviously the one with the winning fighter wins the game, and we'll start again next week. And of course, if they both have losing fighters, then the wheel is declared the winner. Which no, that's worst case scenario. Let's just hope that doesn't happen because we don't want the wheel winning this game. We never like to see that happen. But they're the three most likely possibilities. They're the three possibilities. One of those three possibilities is going to happen. But anyway, for this fourth round, we've got a UFC fight night: Mario Batista versus Vinicius Oliveira. And I'm going to start by saying I like Vinicius Oliveira. I really do. He's since he's made his UFC debut, he's been a very enjoyable fighter to watch. So he's I hope he does well, but I do think this is a little bit of a step up for him, a bit too much of a step up. Uh, it's good to see him get the opportunities like these of being in the main event, but. Mario Batista for me, he's just too far up the bantamweight division. I think this is a bit of a mismatch in terms of their rankings. So I don't really pay too much attention to where they are in the rankings, but well, the UFC official rankings. But I think Batista's just far too much UFC experience at this stage, despite the fact that Oliveira's got off to a great start in his UFC, going 4-0. Batista's 10-3 records, given how far into the bantamweight division he's gone, is a more impressive UFC record, in my opinion. Obviously, Oliveira is more experienced overall, had more regional fights, and of course, he was seemingly knocking everybody out on the regional scene. Has mostly gone the distance, mostly won decisions since being in the UFC. So again, I think that's kind of to some extent then that's to be expected. You step up the competition, the fights get harder. You're not going to just blast through everyone the same way you always used to. But no, I think this is a little bit too much of a step up. I'm pleased to see him get this opportunity in the main event, but I think Batista's going to be a bit too much for him, a bit too experienced. Because he was fighting Umar Nurmagomedov, who's in title contention last time out. Lost that one, of course, but that's the sort of level he's at, sort of fringe bantamweight contender. So I don't think Oliveira is quite at that level yet. But hopefully I'm wrong and Oliveira does win because I'm rooting for him. But I think it is a little bit too much. But of course, for the purposes of the game, the only fights that matter are whichever ones the two lucky bastards get drawn in. The first up is Cool Hand Puke. Let me just check I'm sharing the screen on the wheel page first, otherwise you won't be able to see what I'm spinning. Right, there we go. Okay, so Cool Hand Puke. This could be your fighter to decide whether or not you'll win the game potentially. A lot of pressure on this, so let's see who Cool Hand Puke gets drawn with. And he gets Jailton Almeida. Jailton Almeida for Cool Hand Puke. Uh, and I think he's got a decent chance with this one. Gelson Almeida obviously fighting in against Rizvan Kuniev, who of course his UFC debut last time out. Kuniev it didn't really go to plan, did it? He lost to Curtis Blades. It was a good fight, and it was a close decision, but decision lost to Curtis Blades. But um, I think the UFC would have preferred him, obviously, to win that with new signings to the promotion. But now he's gone 1-0, and against Gelson Almeida. I think that's just a horrible stylistic matchup because Almeida's very good on the ground. He's a real submission threat. Kuniev, I suppose in a way he's much more your typical heavyweight fighter that tends to look for the knockouts. Very tough, very durable. Looks for the knockouts, and but I think Almeida's going to take this to the ground, and I don't think Kuniev's got what it takes to sort of hold him off because Almeida is. When he goes for a sub, he usually finds it. And I know that the ground game of the heavyweight division isn't exactly as strong as it is in other divisions, but Almeida, in for this fight anyway, Almeida is definitely the better grappler than Kuniev, in my opinion. So Kuniev is, like I say, it's a tough one because he's a very tough fighter, and if it was purely a striking exchange, I'd probably still side with Almeida, but I'd say it would go the distance. But I think once Almeida gets it to the ground, which he will do fairly on early on, I think he's going to be getting first round submission or first or second round submission. But I'm leaning more first, to be honest. Got more energy, comes out of the traps a bit faster. So I think this is a really bad matchup for Kuniev. But he does have the advantage that he's never been stopped in his career. All his losses are over the distance, but I think Almeida might be the first to change that if he can get him to the ground. But for the point of view from this game, though, Coolham Puke has got Gelson Almeida, so that is, in my opinion, a very good pick. I think Coolham Puke is getting through to the next round, depending who El Guapo gets drawn with, could have a very good chance of winning this. So that is an ideal start for Coolham Puke. And now we'll just have to see if El Guapo is going to be as lucky. We'll just say Guapo. Normally, in previous editions, he's done some wonderful sort of color commentary after the event, sort of recapping the chaos that the wheel has unleashed on the previous round. And it's not been as active on the forum. So if you are still following the game, El Guapo, hope you're okay. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're resting and enjoying the fights and enjoying the game. And best of luck with this game. So let's see who El Guapo gets drawn with. And he gets Alex Morono. Alex Morono there for El Guapo. Obviously, very tough UFC veteran, Alex Morono. Up against a newcomer, Daniel Donchenko. Is Donchenko, 12-2 in his career, so still fairly inexperienced, all things considered. We won his UFC debut against Rodrigo Cezinado by first round knockout. Perfect start to his tenure in the promotion. But it's a case of this is his first serious test because Cezinado, he was the same sort of level, same kind of. I think he was about 8-1, eight or something around that. That kind of record, 8-1, maybe 8-2. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but he was around the same stage of his career as Donchenko is. Morono, on the other hand, very experienced veteran, 24 wins, 12 losses in his career, and 13 wins, 9 losses, no draws, one no contest in the UFC. So he's fought at the top level of MMA for a long time now, and admittedly, it does look as if he's coming towards the end of that time. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. So it does look like we've seen this play out so many times before, where the older UFC veteran gets fed to the up and comer. And I hate to say this, but I think Morone. This looks like it's going to be the same case for Morono as well. I think it's going to be. Um, it's like I say, it's going to be fed to Donchenko here and to sort of try and build him up a bit. But I don't know. I mean, if this was a few years ago, I think I'd probably fancy Morono for win this because there was a spell a few years back before his current losing streak where he was just stealing the odd win, or not even stealing. I mean, earning is the right word, but I mean getting surprise wins over fighters who you think that maybe there should be able to beat him, but he's sort of beating them on experience. It could happen because, as they say, he's very vastly more experienced compared to Donchenko. That's still a possibility that he could sort of use some old school tricks and sort of teach him a little bit. And I don't think Donchenko's going to finish Morono. Certainly not the way he did with Cezinado. But I think Morono's far too tough for that. Um, but no, I still think Donchenko's going to, over the course of the 3 rounds, he's going to have done the more damage. So I think he's going to Donchenko's going to take this on the decision, but maybe Moreno can roll back the years and take it on the decision. Obviously, El Guapo is going to be hoping that's the case, but I don't think he'll be able to, unfortunately. So yeah, that's it. Definitely could have been worse. There are much bigger underdogs on this card than Moreno, but obviously he could have been drawn with a favourite, and yeah, so an underdog with a slight chance, but not a huge chance to be honest. Okay, so that already concludes the fourth round draw because there was only two of you, so it's much quicker when there's only two of you to go through. Obviously, just to remind ourselves, Cool Hand Puke with Gelton Almeida and El Guapo with Alex Morono. Um, I think that obviously Cool Hand Puke is in a very, very strong position to win this now. Because I've said Gelton Almeida, I'm confident he's going to win. And Morono, again, tough veteran, but unless he can roll back the years a little bit and sort of take the younger, uh, less experienced fighters to school a little bit, I think he's going to be in for a very long 15 minutes. So, yeah, I think my prediction for this is that Cool Hand Puke is going to win the Lucky Bastard game 34th edition in this round, which is still a better case scenario than the wheel winning it, because obviously I want one of you to win. I'm not biased as to who. MMA is an unpredictable sport. It could even go the other way around. Maybe Morona gets a win and Almeida suffers a shock loss, but who knows? But as long as one of you wins, then, or at least both, or maybe even both of you win and we carry on, that still gives us a chance to have a human winner rather than the wheel that's is just a wheel. No, we don't want to see him win. So anyway, best of luck to both of you. Obviously enjoy the fights tomorrow night, if you can, if you're not too nervous about it. And all that leaves me to say is obviously best of luck again. Best of luck to everyone here with their picks on Tapology. If you've got any real life money on the cards, any bets on these fights, then good luck with those. And until next week, we'll be back. Obviously next week, whether that's a continuation of this game if both get winning fighters, but I think it's more likely we'll be back with a new game, the 35th edition. But whatever happens, we'll see you then. And until then, so long for now.